Hello and welcome to FX Addicts Weekly Market Analysis. This is Tim, the Currency Professor, and today is Wednesday, July 31st, and we're going to do a little bit early this week. I'm going to be out of town for a couple of days here on Thursday and Friday, so it would be actually pretty good since it is the 31st today, the end of July. So we're going to do kind of a month update as well as a week update here. And first, let's go through some of the economics that we had today. Pretty big day. We had U.S. GDP out today, and that came in at 1.7%, a little bit higher than the 1.1 that was expected, and pretty much in line with last quarter, which was 1.8. So first quarter, second quarter this year, 1.8 and 1.7, and we'll see what we get for revisions, of course. But for right now, it's looking pretty good. We might have a revision up on this because of the imports and exports. We actually had some pretty good numbers this last quarter, so we'll have to see how the revisions come out. Also today, ADP, non-farm payroll number 200,000, right on 200,000. Expectations were for 179, and last month's number 198. So looking pretty good, kind of a precursor to Friday's official number, and right now the official number is looking for 180,000 non-farm payrolls and an unemployment rate of 7.5%. So we'll see how that actually plays out. That's basically the big news for today and for the rest of this week. So we'll keep our eyes on that. Also today, the FOMC had a meeting. They issued a statement. There was no press conference. They said that everything was going to continue the way it is, and that if the economy picks up, they will taper off on their quantitative easing. So pretty much status quo there. No big real news. The markets took it in stride, so that's a good thing. All right, onward here to the euro US dollar. We were up a little bit today, very wide range, and this little widening here, this is the issue that could mean a turnaround. So we'll have to wait and see how that ends up. But to kind of give a little credence to that, stochastics up here pinned to the top, so that's usually a sign that we're getting to the point of being overdone, and really a good fallback would be in the cards here. The U.S. dollar been getting hammered for over 3 weeks now, so for the euro to take a back seat here and for the dollar to rise again would be pretty much expected. On a weekly basis, we can see now 4 weeks up in a row, and we're still pushing higher for the rest of this week. So a lot can happen, though, of course, in the next couple of days. And if we look on the monthlies, well, we just finished out the month now, up for the month and up significantly. It's the first time we've seen this, but we are still in the range that we have been in for a long time here now, many months. And should have happened is, as we had this little 2-month pullback back here, we should have come out and moved up, and we didn't. So that's kind of a negative. Now we'll have to see how August turns out, and if August actually runs up and makes some new highs here. If it does not, then it's probably going to fall back. British pound against the dollar down today, and we did recover towards the end of the day. We're down over 100 pips at one stage, ended up down about 20, so did rally back quite a bit on the day, giving us that nice tail there, and probably turn us around for a few days. We'll have to see if we actually go up and make new highs, but we did have the 4th day down in a row. On the weeklies, ended up right now we're midweek, but we are down quite a bit on the week. So of course a lot can happen, but we'll probably end up the week negative. And on the monthlies, well, the monthly we actually ended up pretty much dead on where we opened, and pretty much dead on where we closed last month. So here we got this real confusing looking pattern, and it's really kind of sloppy. We are still below this trend line, though, still looks fairly negative, and we're going to go with that longer term trend there where it's still fairly negative. US dollar against the Swiss franc down today, and we are up quite a bit for the first part of the session, and then as the statement from the FOMC came out, we did sell off, and we're just in this pretty much good-sized angle here moving down, and we'll probably get at some point here where we're going to have one big day and turn it around. We are at some support levels in here. Stochastics here fairly beaten up, so we could see that happen at any time. On the weeklies now, we got a nice little pattern going here. We're up, down, down again. So the next move, of course, is going to be up. How far up we go is a whole nother question, but we're still within the same range that we've been at for the last couple of years. Does not look like it's going to change anytime soon. Now on the monthlies, we ended up the month down. We did perk up for a while at the beginning of the month above the first trend line that goes all the way back to just about 2,000. We should have stayed above that. We didn't, so we are getting closer and closer here to a point on the monthlies where we're going to blast up out of here. We need to close up about at 103 on a monthly basis to really turn this thing around much longer term. US dollar against Japanese yen down slightly on the day, and we're stuck in this range now for just about 3-4 days here, and we're starting to see a little bit of an Ichimoku cloud starting to form there. We are below this trend line, so there's some negativity here, although we are extremely oversold. As we can see here in the stochastics, we are in need of a little bit of a bounce. So maybe we bounce up 99, 100 area and then fall back again. If we look here on the weeklies, we ran up, we made highs, we've come down, a nice correction, ran up again, could not make new highs. We're still below this trend line. That's all very negative at this point, so we'll have to wait and see how we actually work through the next few weeks, if we consolidate here and then go up for new highs, or if we continue to fall off and break these this neckline down here around the 94 area, 93.50. And looking at the monthlies, well, we're finishing up the month of July negative, second negative month in a row, but it's really more or less a flagging position. We've had this nice move up, come down, we're right on that trend line, so very easily the month of August could easily end up going to new highs and being an up month. So we'll have to wait to see how that finishes out, but longer term we still look pretty good there. Euro Swiss down a little bit today on this little bit of a downward momentum here, not too steep of an angle, and it looks like we're pretty close to playing out this whole little thing. We're coming slowly to a point here, and we can see that here if we can just draw this in here like this, how we're coming more and more to a point. So at some point here we're gonna jump up out of there and move up. So the fact that this angle here is not nearly as steep as this angle gives us an indication we're probably going to turn around here soon. And we look on the weeklies, we can see now this is the third week down in a month. I'm sorry, third week down in a row, and that we're really overdue for a bounce up here, and we can see that kind of with the spreading of the stochastics as well. So longer term still looks good here in this market. Euro yen, very much the same kind of scenario as the dollar yen. We're below this trend line. Today we were down just slightly, and for about 3-4 days now in the same very tight range. We don't have the negative Ichimoku on there, but nonetheless it's still looking like it could form. We're oversold. We can see that here on the stochastics, so bounce up really is in the cards here. And on the weekly, almost the same pattern as we have on the dollar yen, and same on the monthly, except this month, for the month we are ending up positive. We are looking a little bit overbought here at this point on the stochastics, so we could though have one month next month or even September where we run up and make new highs and still be in the same kind of scenario. So overall still looks fairly decent longer term. Really looking for us to run up to that 137, 138 to complete the pattern. US dollar against the Canadian, been beaten up pretty bad now. Today we ran up. We were up about 30-40 pips, and then as the news came out from the FOMC, we turned it around and we ended up quite negative on the day. So looking to see how we're going to go from here, but it looks like we're probably going to build a base in this area and then move higher. We can kind of see that moving here in the stochastics as well. If we jump up to the weeklies, we can see now we're 4 weeks in a row negative, and we're right on that trend line, so be a pretty good point at which to turn it around. And if we go out to the monthlies, we can see how this month now ended up negative. We're right on that trend line, and kind of like back here where we had 2 months down, ended up on that lower trend line and then moved up quite rapidly. So could really see something like that happening here, where we would move up from here. We could even get up to the 108, 110 area fairly quickly and a turnaround in a month or two. So longer term still looks very good. Australian dollar against the US getting hammered the last couple of days here, and setting some new lows. On the weeklies we can see how 89.70 abouts where we're at right now. These are the new lows for the weeklies as well. Really looking like it's just going to turn over and keep going. And if we jump out to the monthlies, we can see how we ended up negative on this month as well. For most of the month we were actually positive, and now we're closing the month out negative again. This is looking more and more like we're going to head down to that around 80 area, 82, and that's probably where we'll bounce from there on a monthly basis. So that is it for this week and for the month. And again, I'll be traveling for a couple of days, so I will not be around for all those that are members. If you are not a member, please by all means stop on by and sign up for our 7-day free trial. fxaddicts.com. Thank you very much.